for some reason, it does that. It's annoying, but it does that.
You know why? You know why? You know why?
Why?
Ask me why. Because you're in the sticks.
Why? Because I'm in the sticks.
Yes.
Oh, I
Is that
thought I was
why?
gonna say because of Big Brother
For
watching
some
us.
reason, it
Oh,
does
come
that.
on, Venora.
You know what? No, it's because of
You know
COVID.
why? See? You know why? Ask me why.
Oh,
Because
all
you're in the
right.
sticks.
Who
It's
has it
always
up?
me. I don't know who did that.
Well,
Who
somebody
who
It
turned
was
who?
it
Gina.
off.
It was me. I did it. So what?
Yeah. Well, I
Sorry.
mean,
Well,
it's about that time,
it's
guys,
all
right?
good. Oh, dude,
Oh,
are
we're
we
live.
live?
Yeah,
Yeah, we are
behave.
live.
Like usual in here. I'm just chatting.
I know. Say good.
You know.
Let's
Oh, hey,
do
we
Say
this.
good
are.
things.
Hey,
Yo.
hi everybody. Wow, that was a big zoom close up to our faces
It
that
was.
I
It
That
wasn't
was. I'm
was.
glad
prepared
I was
for.
ready.
Wasn't ready for it,
Mm-hmm.
but you guys are. That's what's up.
Yes, everybody's ready for
Everybody.
us now.
Yep. So we have a special guest on our show today by way of
We do.
Keena. Thank you very much, Keena. She has reached out to a gentleman by the name of David Miller, goes by Dave Miller, and he has a clothing line, but he also has done something very special during this COVID season. Can we say season? That this is a COVID
You call it
season?
what you want. It don't matter.
Oh, I love season. You know, it's the COVID season.
Wow. Wow.
It's
Yes,
the
Okay.
sir.
most
How we going?
wonderful
This is how we
time
go.
of the year.
Wow, is
Wow.
it really?
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Well, if
Is this
you're
the
gonna
best
call it a
time?
season,
And then
Well,
you say
yeah.
it's a wonderful time of the. Okay, Chris.
I'm just trying to put in a silver lining, man.
No,
Well,
Just,
you
not
did
you
it.
can't.
You
Not with
did it.
that.
just a
Not,
Not
silver.
with
not
COVID.
with COVID. Not
Yeah,
with COVID.
There's no silver line with COVID.
COVID silver lining. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I don't know.
But as
Okay.
usual, guys, you can go ahead and join the conversation. We do have a link in the comments down below. So if you guys can go ahead and just click that link if you choose to join the conversation. If you hear something,
Do
maybe you have
that.
a question, go ahead and click that link. But let's move along. What's been good?
Okay, I have something that's been good. So every summer we do this. I posted it on Facebook. Um, we made our annual trip to Jungle Jim's International Grocery Store. I love
Oh
Jungle Gems.
gosh.
I love Jungle Gems.
Field
Um,
trip.
and it is a field trip. It was I was really pleased to see that just about everybody there last weekend wearing masks. It was really nice. And for a moment, it kind of made my boy and I feel like normal, Even though I mean we're all wearing our masks and stuff, but man, just for a day that we just felt a little bit normal. We bought a whole bunch of root beer, had a root beer taste test at home. It was a day, but it was what was funny was at lunch we were trying to figure out where to go eat. And I'm like, oh well, let's go find a place to eat. And then I suddenly remembered, oh yeah, no, we don't do that because of COVID.
Mm-mm.
But at least for a little while, we kind of forgot about it and we got to live a life, at least mentally COVID free and everything else free for just, maybe an hour or two of our day. So that was positive.
Nice.
Cool. That's awesome. What about you, Keena?
So I've been, I guess what's been good with me is just that I am taking some time to like just be easy a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you're running, pushing your business, a mom, blah, blah, blah. You're ripping and running so much. And I'm disciplining myself to be okay with being still sometimes. Because like, I have a lot of potential, but I'm still just a human being. And so I have to steward my whole self. And
Hmm.
so I just been, taking some time just to relax a little bit, kick back, you know. But they're gonna still be just like, scratching at me. So I'm up
Okay.
for it. But you just gotta take a little breather a little bit, but enjoying life.
I
What about
know.
you, Bernard?
For me, I think I'm about 90% done with my house.
Oh, good
Ooh.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
I'm like super duper excited about being able to relax finally. and kind of get back into the swing of things when it comes to the regular work, which is a lot of film, commercial, graphic design,
Mm,
things of that nature. It's the stuff that I enjoy, but it was good to take a break, like you said, to kind of just be
yeah.
still for a moment. But I kind of revved up. I just was still from doing my work, and I just revved up
Mhm,
doing this other type of work, which was
mhm,
home remodeling. So I'm happy. I mean, like I got all wood floors now. Um,
Wow.
Repainted everything. Got a whole new kitchen, like kitchen cabinets,
That's a
stove.
lot of
Got
work you
all,
put
dude.
That's a
It
lot.
it was more than I thought, and more than I thought I could chew and just swallow that in a week, and it was like no way that was going to happen. No
in. Yeah,
way.
but
But you
you
getting
feel
it done.
pretty good about it now, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel I'm so pleased. I can't wait to have a large housewarming party.
There you go. You got to do it.
During COVID season, you play too much. I'll be there virtually. How about that?
Nah,
Hope you go
We'll
live.
all, we'll
I
all
want you to
stand
walk to
out in
my
the
house.
yard and he can tell us what it looks like out inside.
Mhm. No,
Right.
It'll be a lot of fun.
no,
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
no,
But yeah,
no.
that's been me for the past month, and now I'm out of the woods, so to speak. So yeah,
That's good. I'm proud of you. You started and you're completing. So I'm proud of you.
yes, yeah.
Did you
So one
did
thing,
you take before and afters?
I did in the beginning. I started to do that, and then well, for me, I was just like, I just ain't got time to sit here and take pictures of before and after and be worried about it. It was just too much
I just want
mentally
to
for me. I was just like
hmm
I was overly done with it. I'm like done now. Like I'm just waiting to be finished with it all. But
Okay.
that's just the
So
inside. Now I gotta do the outside next.
Mm.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
Yep.
no.
Woo.
I'm tired
So
of talking about it.
uh
Man, you
yeah,
are up
yeah.
for the torture.
I am up for it.
You're
It's
getting it
it,
ready
it's
for a Cinder Bowl. You got to make it nice. Good job.
I get ready for what? For what my what?
Cinder. I said it.
My Tinder.
Boo.
My Tinder boo.
You
I
tender boo.
you know what?
Okay,
I don't have a
I
Tinder
quit.
boo. But you know what's so
I
funny about that
quit.
word Tinder? I
What?
don't know what it means, but apparently that's like not like a new word. Like that's like an
No,
old term.
it is.
And I was shocked to find that out.
What? I'm so
Tinder
lost.
Tinder is something that you use when you're trying to create a spark to make a fire.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
They out there
Yep.
being fast and stuff. Okay.
Fast.
So he's
Flaming.
trying to create a spark leading to a big fire.
Oh,
Mm.
gross.
Did
Yeah.
you say gross?
Gross. I don't even want to. Cause you like my brother. I don't think about that.
Think about what? Me having love in my life it's gross to you?
We can talk about love. I want to hear about you sparking no flames and crap. Oh, stop. We got company. Stop.
It's all love, man.
All
Love
right.
is
All
love.
of that,
You can have, you can have all the
Love
love you
is
want to.
love, man.
love is love, man. And
Man, we all
speaking
gotta
of
love
love,
somebody. Might as well be somebody from Tinder.
Don't start this mess.
but no offense to all the Tinder users that are out there.
None.
If you are on Tinder and you doing your thing on Tinder, good for you. If you found
You
love
do
on
you.
Tinder, yes, leave a comment down below. Like if you're on Tinder, leave a comment down below and be like, yeah, I've used Tinder before and I've had some success with it, and maybe even talk about your failures. But for me, I don't
So
take
you know
Tinder
they're not
seriously.
going to now, right?
Yeah,
Even
there's
Yeah,
even,
not.
because
even the even the
we
listeners who are using it right now, they're like, God, I'm not going to say anything.
and he totally disrespected Tinder last week. They're not gonna do it. So no.
Oh, you know what? I just had a great idea. What if, and I'm wondering, would you guys watch a show of somebody going through their Tinders and watching someone swipe left and right, just judging, just going through,
No,
just judging? You wouldn't watch
No,
that show?
that's
no,
so rude. That's
that would
rude.
that would get boring
Watching
because
people get rejected. That's not right.
no, it's just
That's
Nope.
somebody's finger,
Nope.
just swiping across the phone. It's like, no.
Nope. Nope. I wonder what this
Now,
person does.
okay.
Nope.
So if you were going to make like a short, like a few seconds of something funny, like a TikTok,
Yeah.
like something like that. So it would work better for something like that. But
Well,
an
You know
actual,
what?
but a
It
full
might.
half hour, but a full half hour television.
No,
No,
definitely not. No, no. But at the same time, though, that was Love Connection.
Love Connection.
You know what? I'm not.
You
I'm not
are.
gonna do this.
Wasn't that the
I'm,
game
I'm,
show
I'm
though?
absolutely not.
Love Connection. The game
People
show.
are
Yeah.
trying to find connections and love, and you are not going to play with that, and you're not going to put them out like
But
that,
the,
just showing you rejecting everybody. No.
but they do it all the time on Bachelor, Bachelorette. Who's going to get the rose? It's all about swiping.
Oh,
Swipe or no swiping.
Swiper,
see,
no
you're not.
swiping.
You all are rude, and that's not okay.
So we're living the cancel culture and the swipe culture. All right. So COVID.
True.
COVID,
True.
this mask thing. I heard they passed the law.
They did.
Chris.
They did.
Which I'm excited about.
So, so I heard about it this morning, first thing when I got up, that Dayton, just north of us, passed a law that goes into effect tomorrow. I think at 8:30 a.m. And the law says that in Dayton, so I'm guessing it's got to be in the corporate city limits in Dayton, you have to wear a mask when you are in a public place. Now that means grocery stores, like a shopping mall. If you're in an office building, something like that, where people are coming in and out, if customers coming in and out, you have to wear a mask. There are provisions in Dayton's law, and I'll get to Cincinnati here in a second. There are provisions in it that says that if you're in a restaurant, they want you to keep the mask on until, of course, you're eating. Obviously you're going to have to take it off. If you're in a bar, and here's where I think it's a stupid one, you take it off if you're drinking in a bar. What I'm sorry, if I'm drinking in a bar, why the heck did I go to the bar anyway? What do you think I'm doing there? Loitering?
Hey, people. Everybody been watching the house. No.
So anyway, but that's a loss. So here's the thing though. So the big question mark is, well, how is it going to be? How is this going to be reinforced? So if you walk, let's say I walk into, a department store, all right, and I'm in Dayton, and I'm not wearing a mask, and this employee comes up to me and says, "Sir, you have to wear a mask," and I look at them and I say, "How dare you? I'm an American. Blah 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 tax. Blah 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 blah. I'm not very bright, and I'm not going to buy your mask." So what they can do, because I've been told to wear a mask, but I'm not, what this law does is it now empowers those businesses to say, fine, I don't have to deal with you. All they have to do is just phone up the police, and they can press charges, and you will be fined $85.
So you know what's going to happen now, right? There's
We
going
all
to be
know
a
what's
lot more people that are
Yes.
going to fight, and it's going to be a lot of videos, and it's like,
I personally am looking forward to the barrage of videos that's about to come
This is
across
fine.
my feed. It's going to entertain me greatly for days to come. But here's the thing. So in Cincinnati, this morning at 10:30, Mayor Cranley, I don't know why he did this before the meeting. Mayor Cranley came out this morning at 10:30, made this statement saying, yes, there's a law in Dayton, and this is what, and basically he's reflecting, he's almost mirroring the law that they enacted in Dayton, and then said that this is what he's hoping that the city council passes. So he stated that at 11:30 they were going to go into session, city council, and that they were going to vote on it. So in the afternoon, because I'm sorry guys, I work for a living and I'm not always as my phone, but I did hear my phone go off, and at some point I thought, I got to look at this, and I saw that on my feed it said, oh, Mayor Cranley's making a statement live, WCPO. Oh, shout out to Channel 9. We're on your side. And so I go on there and I'm scrolling and I'm like, dang it, I'm already too late because he's answering questions. And I'm like, oh, I missed the announcement whether they passed it or not. So I'm just going to read the comments because there's one thing I can count on. It's great comments. So I went down the comments, and the first comment I saw was almost verbatim what I just said a second ago of me talking. Like, I ain't going to wear no darn blame mask because I'm an American and I'm freedom, blah, 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 taxes, and just going on and on and on and on. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, well, cool. I guess he did pass it. Now, here's something that's nice, though. Out of him, he was probably that guy, whoever he was out there, he was in the minority on all the comments. Predominantly, everybody was like, thank you, Mayor Cranley. Hey, it's about time, Mayor Cranley. You know, there were even some comments that said, yeah, there were some comments that said, you know, it would be nice if Governor DeWine made that across the board, at least for the state, you know, so that we can get some of these areas down. So at the same time that was happening, though, then Governor DeWine actually does come on. And Governor DeWine was showing a map. So they now have a map. You guys can look it up. I think it's on ohio.gov. I think it's on their website. So they have a map of Ohio, and it's showing every county, and every county has a shade of color. Now, I don't know if you guys remember right after 9/11, when there was a terrorist threat, it went by levels of color, right?
Right.
So that's what they're doing with the acceleration of COVID in different counties. So different counties are given different colors. Yellow is the lowest. Actually, I guess gray would be there's nothing going on. So then yellow, which means there's some going on. Orange, which then means that you're kind of on a high alert. There's an accelerated level. Red, which is a very high risk.
I think Bernard.
There's a very high risk of it. And then there's blue. And blue, if you get to blue, that's pretty much your county needs to shut down. So we are in the red along with Butler County and Montgomery. So pretty much, if you go on a map, you can trace it down from Cincinnati up to Dayton and back down. We are all in the red. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
So, yes. So, and it looks like Shakina may have had some difficulties.
Okay.
So
we'll bring her back in, but
so she'll come back in. But yeah, so that was all in today's. There she is. There she is. Yay! But yeah,
I was the only one kicked out.
Yeah, but that was all in the news. So, and I guess apparently, and how I got that news about the map was my wife, who works for another one of the suburb villages in the area, was texting me this stuff because, well, she has to know it because then where she works, then they kind of they have to reflect what all the other communities are doing. And that's when I asked her, I said, so blue, it doesn't really show what you do when you get to the worst state that is blue. And that's when she said, well, blue, that would be, according to everybody else, that blue would be your county's going to shut down. You're going to have to shut down. So I asked.
So where is everybody right now? I missed it. So
red.
You said Butler County is. So
yes.
What's that?
Hamilton, Butler, and Montgomery County. You can actually draw a line from Cincinnati up to Dayton and back down. We are all in the red.
And the red means bad. The red means
the red down. Is no. We are one step away from shutdown. Blue is the word.
Tell me.
So it goes yellow, orange, red, and then blue. So we are in the red. We are in the absolute red. So
I've been in the blue since they said this happened. How about that? We're not going outside.
But that's my warning to everybody: is that last week we were not in the red. Last week we're actually in the orange, according to all health organizations. And in 1 week, guys, this is not good. We went to another color. Now, I don't want to have to come back next week and say, guys, what were you doing? Because now we're in another color again. Now we're into blue. So, but that's what it is.
People want to breathe on each other.
Yeah.
No.
So we have at least we have mayors of the larger metropolitan areas at least saying, okay, so here's something that we can do is we can make masks mandatory and we can make it a finable offense if you're going to fight it. If you want to fight it, fine. And I can actually see why they're using a fine, because when you think about it, maybe that would make you think twice about wanting to fight it. It's like, do I really want to spend $85 today? Or do I just want to put a mask on, buy my groceries, and go home?
Right. I think the fine is like a little excessive. Like, why can't there's businesses now that just have a sign up like you can't come in if you don't have a mask on? Like, why? Just because I think that, like we were talking about before we came in, like you have people that are just like rebels without a cause. They're gonna, I don't have to wear a mask, just like you said. So it's just like, just put the signs up. That's foolish to me for people to call the cops because somebody doesn't have a mask on. Now you're getting choked out because you didn't put a mask in your face. Just don't let them in.
Well, hopefully now that it's a law, that will deter or at least change some people's minds.
Yes, because we're law-abiding citizens.
Well, that's what the hope is. And I'm all for making strides to try to deter them. And if this deters one person, then power to it. Power to it.
We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see.
All
I've been wearing a mask now,
so. Shakina, why don't you go ahead and do the honors and introducing and bringing in our special guest.
Absolutely. So it is my extreme pleasure to introduce Dave Miller to the Slanted audience. I just a little backstory. I came across Dave right at the beginning of launching #Swerve. And I saw that he was like doing his thing, and I saw the message and the brand and just everything, and I thought it was amazing. So I reached out to him just to see if he would mind sharing a little insight with me. He did, and I followed up with him not too long ago to show, just how I've grown and stuff like that. He's just a very, humble guy, very, very focused, and he's doing great things. So I thought it would be great to bring him on to, bring some positivity and encouragement and insight to people. And I think it's just something that it gives all of us something to think about. So welcome, Dave Miller.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Hey.
Let me not be the only one not clapping.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. So we had a chance to talk with Dave before the show, and you've been pretty busy.
Busy is an understatement.
You've been pretty busy, but
right.
I think one of the main reasons why, I think the big reason why you caught Shakina's interest was the whole story behind why you're doing why you have a new line out right now that just came out last Friday. It's not what you usually do, but it's something that you saw a need for.
Right.
And could you talk a little bit about that and explain to us what that is?
Yeah. So my line in general is called Peace and Love Attire. I've been in business this December is 4 years. Recently when this pandemic hit, I was in the supermarket, and I want to say it was like the second week when the world was still pretty much in a frenzy. And I'm in the market and I'm looking at the shelves, and it's so many things that are missing. And the clothing thing is cool, but at that moment I realized, I said that I need some sort of business for my family that's essential. I said, God forbid this ever happens again. The clothes is cool, but in a time of crisis, clothes aren't needed. In the time of crisis, we it's certain things that we need. It's essential items that we need. And I was looking on the shelves, and I was looking at everything that was missing. Soap was missing, water was missing, snacks were missing, bread was missing. And me and my advisor, we had some conversations, and we came up with this concept. Maybe we should try to bring out some water. We didn't know how to go about bringing out water, but we bumped our heads. We thought at some point we thought we were going to filter water. I don't know how we thought we were going to do that. We were looking for water filters, and they call like a good water filter, I think, costs like close to 10 grand. We didn't have 10 grand to spend on a water filter.
And I was going to say, like, how much water were you wanting to filter?
We didn't know. We didn't consider that we would have to like pay a water bill. Like we were going to have to hook this filter up to somebody's sink or something. But we were like, we were just brainstorming some things, and we did some research, and I found this wholesale spring water distributor. And I think we put this in play maybe week 3 of the pandemic. And over the course of a lot of emails, a lot of missed phone calls, a lot of back and forth, God bless us to put us in a position to come out with this spring water. And now we got spring water now. It's dope. Like, it's really dope. It's one of the things that I'm most proud about. It's fun. It's dope. Like, that's all I can say. It's just really, really dope.
And so you started this last Friday?
Yeah, we literally, my first shipment came on Wednesday. I announced it on Wednesday. We sold our first case on Friday. Shout out to my man Brandon at work. He's another entrepreneur. He has a clothing line as well. And him and I, we talked through the halls at work, and we exchanged ideas. And I told him what was going on some time back, and he said, "Bro, as soon as you come out the water, I'm buying." He was my first customer. So we sold our first case on Friday, and we haven't looked back since. It's only been 6 days, and the feedback that we're getting is beyond amazing. It's beyond amazing.
That is awesome. That is
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
So, not to deter away from the water,
Right.
but just talk a little bit more about your entrepreneurship business where you are now with the clothing line.
Right. So the clothing line is Peace and Love Attire. Peace and Love Attire. Like I told you guys backstage, December 27th will be my 4th year. It came organically. Like I told you guys, my daughter hit me some years back. Me and my daughter were talking, and she's a really self-taught kid, and she was asking me for a sewing machine so she could teach herself how to sew clothes for her bears and her dolls. And at that moment, for me, the light bulb kind of went off. I've been blessed to have a lot of different walks of life through my journey, and at this moment, when she brought that to my attention, I feel as though it was the perfect opportunity to use my powers for good. Like I told you guys, I feel as though my daughter, she's 13 now. I think she's super duper smart. I think she's way smarter than me. And I felt as though that if I put something in play, that when she's old enough to really understand what's going on, she can take it in the direction that it needs to go. But I felt as though it was my duty and my responsibility, really just to lay the groundwork, just trying to change the narrative of generational wealth, trying to show her, that it's school is dope. Don't get me wrong. I did some years in college a few times, but it's not always the only way. And as of right now, like what I really, really try to promote, especially the younger people, is nothing wrong with going to business for yourself. Like, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. I think being an entrepreneur is the best thing that I've ever done. Like, going into business for yourself, working for yourself. I don't know. If you don't do it, I advise any and everybody to try it. It's something that's needed. It's a self-motivator. And I just want to motivate children. I want to motivate adults. I just want to motivate everybody, but that's who we are with it.
Right. So you mentioned backstage before the show, you were talking
Right.
about the journey towards entrepreneurship and what really motivated you. You had a friend. Can you tell us a little bit about that story again?
So good friend of mine. We've been friends since we were 11, and he was working for the stockbrokers company, I believe, and things were really, really going well for him career wise, and he kind of opened up my eyes to like money isn't everything, and he got a major promotion, and he ended up quitting his job to pursue his love for photography.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I'm like, that's the dopest thing ever. And at that moment, I fully wasn't prepared mentally to take that step, but it was so inspiring and so encouraging. I was like, at some point, I want that. And I watched how he went about that, and he really, really put the energy, to put the battery in my back to make me want to pursue entrepreneurship. I saw what he had and it was dope. And I said, I want that for myself. You know, I'm a worker bee. I don't mind working, but I knew at that moment that I needed and I wanted something for myself. And just through conversations after conversations after conversations, we came up with this clothing line. It was a really, really, you know, it was organic, but it wasn't planned. It really wasn't planned. A good friend of mine was teaching me how to make shirts, and we were in the lab making shirts. And the saying on my signature shirt is "Today is a good day to be dope." That's a saying that I've been saying since about 2012, 2013, maybe. And me saying that statement daily on Facebook was really just me putting for myself. I didn't know I was doing it for others, but at that moment it was for myself, for me to put positive energy and positive vibes in the atmosphere for me to go about my day, you know, in a certain way. And we put it on a shirt one day and we posted it December 27th. And I don't know, I tell this story so many times, but it's my favorite story. We posted the shirt on December 27th, and I woke up the next morning and I had like 30 inboxes of people who wanted shirts. I didn't know where to buy shirts from. I didn't have a vendor for shirts. I wasn't even really good at I wasn't good at making shirts yet. Like I was still learning. But I'm like, you know, people are sending their funds and I'm like, we got to make these shirts and we got to mail these shirts out. And by the grace of God, yo, we haven't looked back since. I mean, like I said, December 27th, about to be 4 years. I don't know. I'm having the time of my life. I really am. It's a good time and it's an amazing journey.
Well, it's like everybody's dream, right?
Right.
Is to be their own boss, to actually be that entrepreneur, to be successful, to be your own boss, to be able to grow something like that. And then on top of that, you had said backstage, you know, that this business is also for your daughter, right?
Right.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's all for her, man. It's something
it's in her name.
That you could pass it down too.
It's not even passing it, it's hers. Like I'm just a worker bee. I think when we were talking the other day and she asked me, you know, like what's my title? I don't even know what my title is for my business. I don't know. A founder, I don't know, the CEO, I don't know. I'm just a worker because it's really, like I said, I enjoy it, but it's not about me. It's about the kid. You mean, like I said, I'm trying to change the narrative of how we go about things. I'm trying to put my kids in a position or, you know, allow them to see things that I didn't see. You know, this is a different time where the internet is such an amazing tool. And, you know, me, I'm 38. I can only imagine if I was 13 and had the tools that we have to put things online and it's across the world. Like, you know, you guys are in Ohio, I'm in Philly. You know, when I was 13, this wasn't even possible. Like this wouldn't even be possible for us to be having a conversation online and talking about this. So your guys' followers in Ohio know about me, and my people in Philly now they know about you guys. You know, so it's like if we had the tools back then, I can only imagine what it could be. But the kids have the tools now, so we just got to put something in place. So, you know, when she's of age and she's ready to go, I pass the baton and she can keep it moving.
So this is my follow-up question.
Right.
So I had a chance to go through pretty much your whole catalog before the show. So what I want to know is, has your daughter had influence over any of the styles or the colors used, or like something that you put on a shirt? You know, is she so here's what I want to know. Are you like the normal parent where you will show something to your kid and your kid will look at it and go, no? So she is going to now influence what is cool and what is not these days, right?
I'm gonna tell you this,
I mean,
and I'll be completely transparent with you. She absolutely hasn't influenced anything. It's like even at times she's like almost like disinterested in what's going on. Again, she's still younger, so I don't know if she understands it, but she does it. She walks past me daily. I'm like making sure she doesn't ask to help to lend a hand or anything like that. But I'm like, kid, this is for you. Come learn your craft. But like I said, it's not for her to understand yet. You know, I give her tidbits and I, you know, I show her things. She knows how to make shirts, but it's not time for her to be invested yet. And that's cool. That's why I'm here. My job is to keep it moving and to keep it rolling. You know, God has given me a platform and has allowed me to influence people and he's allowed me to just, you know, be a person of interest where people kind of like flock to what I'm doing. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So I'm just using, you know, what God has given me to set her up in the long run. So she doesn't have to be interested yet because she's not. She's like, whatever. She probably thinks some of the shirts are corny anyway. But again, I think she's smarter than me. So my job is really just to get the ball rolling. And when she's ready to take over, I'll pass her the baton. And only God knows what direction that'll go in.
That's excellent.
Thank you.
So, are you going to? It sounds like you're naturally already going to push her in the direction of entrepreneurship.
Right.
My question to you is there anything that you see happening within the establishment as far as the schooling in Philly or entrepreneurship type, programs in college that you want to try to push her towards? Or are you solely going to be responsible for teaching her the road of entrepreneurship?
I think it's my responsibility not to more so teach her entrepreneurship, but just to show her that entrepreneurship is an option. I feel as though with me and a lot of us, we were taught that, college is the only way. And there's no knock on college. I went to Drexel for a few years. I did 2 years at Drexel and I ended up going to the military. And then when I came home from the military, I did a couple years at Gwinnett Mercy. So like I'm an advocate for school. School is dope. But the issue with me is that when we were younger, that was taught that was the only route. You either go to school or it's almost a bus. You mean, unless you make it in entertainment, you go to school or it's a bus. So my job really for her is not to more so push her into entrepreneurship, but just to show her that entrepreneurship is also an option. It's more options just going to school. It's more options just going to college. And I'm just trying to show her, you can bet on yourself. So if she takes the advice and she takes the role, so be it. If she doesn't, that's cool too. Like I don't feel as though the brand is going anywhere. Whenever she's ready, she's ready. But it's really just to show her that there's more options than just the traditional option that everybody tells us it is, that college is the only way. Because in my opinion, it's not. It's really not.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that is an awesome dad move right there.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, and you're right. Growing up, if I'd have looked at my dad and said, Dad, I'm going to go into business for myself, and this is what I'm going to do.
Right. He would have looked at you like you was crazy.
Yeah, I would have been
go to school, kid. Go to school.
Right. So yeah, and I think a lot of people, a lot of older people. I'm not saying we're all old, but older people in our age group, I think might be a little bit timid to actually go into a business for herself just because of that reason.
Right. Well, I mean, I think people our age, and look, now you're making me feel like I'm old. People our age. I'm 38, but people our age. It's new, it's new. The resources that kids have now, the resources that we have now aren't resources that we had before, aren't resources that our parents had before. So I feel as though if our parents had those resources then, entrepreneurship would have been a thing. But it wasn't a thing because it wasn't any resources. You figure you're talking 20, 30, 40 years back. To be an entrepreneur took a lot of work. It took a lot of money. Like, how are you really? I can't even imagine how you're supposed to promote or get engagement without social media. I can only imagine what it's like to be an entrepreneur 30, 40 years ago, especially as people of color. Like, it would be almost impossible. Like, it's almost impossible. But, we're blessed now that we have these platforms where it's something as simple as getting a YouTube page and doing whatever you like to do and just getting followers. Like, the entrepreneurship game right now is so wide open. If you have any sort of interest, any hobby, you can monopolize off of that and make some sort of revenue, regardless of what you like to do. If you like, I was listening to an interview that I did earlier, and I was talking about, it was some kid that was playing Fortnite. He made like $3 million in a Fortnite tournament. But 20, 30 years ago, that wasn't an option. Like, it wasn't an option. The entrepreneurship window was so wide open. So at this point, it's like, if you have a hobby, something you like to do in your free time, something like, you can just put it online and make it a business. It's an amazing thing right now.
Yeah, because I always believe that there's an audience for something, always.
Absolutely.
No matter how big or how small. One music group, the Insane Clown Posse. I know this sounds crazy already, but they actually were operating. Yeah. What you know about that, Chris?
That was a major plot.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Nothing about
right.
it.
But yeah, what they did like a video, like interview, not a music video, but they had like an interview some time ago, like well over a decade, maybe 15, 18 years ago, and they were
Right.
talking about how they branched off from doing contracts with mainstream America,
Right.
or mainstream American music, and they said, we're going to do it ourselves. So they went and got their own warehouse, pressed up their own shirts, made their
Right.
own merchandise, and went on tour. And they said we were happy with our small niche instead of trying to go get a whole lot of people
Right.
to
Right. Right.
follow us.
Right.
We
Right.
had a small amount of people that were true fans that
Right.
invested in what we believed in, and we're making a living off of it. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's one of the things as
Mm.
being an entrepreneur that we have to kind of understand and possibly gravitate towards to keep our sanity is that we don't
Right.
have to be the next Kanye West trying
Right.
to strike a deal with Adidas or Gap. It's okay if it comes, but we shouldn't be reaching for it out the gate. It's like start small, find your crowd, find your
Right.
you know your people that are going to be like, I believe in your product, I believe in
Right.
you, and
Yeah.
grow that organically and naturally, and be okay with it growing
Right.
organically and naturally, instead of it just being like, oh man, I'm not Kanye West yet, like I might as well quit and
I
give up.
think
It's like,
I
no,
think with
like
that, I think people miss the concept of what entrepreneurship really is. And I think they feel as though if you are an entrepreneur and you're not extremely rich for being an entrepreneur, you're not successful. And that's not what
Mm.
entrepreneurship is about at all.
Um,
Entrepreneurship, in my opinion, is about having an idea or having a gift and generating revenue. It doesn't have to be, you figure a lot of us work regular jobs and, make some odd dollars an hour, and we make enough to pay our bills. We make enough to have fun on the weekends. We make enough to get sneakers when we want or do whatever, go out to dinner when you want to have drinks here and there. That's really what it's about. If you can make an honest living off of an idea, like you're already winning. Like you said, your guys with the band, like it's not about making millions of dollars, but if you can make your own shirts and you're doing shows and listen, if you're to the point where you're doing that and you're making $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, and you're living and you're not punching a clock every day, you've made it.
yep.
You've
You
made it.
good, right?
You've made it. It's not about don't get me wrong. We all want the big check. Don't get me wrong. But if you're in a position where you're doing something, even if your entrepreneurship is equivalent to a part-time job, if you're making $400 a week, that's $1,600 a month that you're making on your own for doing something that you love, like you're winning. You mean, so it's not always about hitting a big ticket. It's just really about putting yourself in a position to generate revenue, to take care of you and your family, solely on your own. So that's a win in itself. It's not
Yeah.
about hitting a check. It's just about putting yourself in a position to generate some sort of revenue.
Can I want to ask you a question about your brand a little bit?
Yes.
Because you have the emblem that you have on your shirt is
Right.
actually the same emblem that you also have on your water, right?
It
'Cause
is.
I know Shakina has she's got a bottle right there.
Hey,
With the same emblem.
I got
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
you.
hold on, wait a
There it
minute,
is.
hold on,
Oh,
wait for
take
it.
a
She's
sip.
going to enjoy it.
That's 100% pure spring water.
There you
That
go.
comes from the
Yes.
mountains in Pennsylvania. The Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania is where that comes from. It's good water. All pun intended,
But
it's good water.
It is. For
So
real.
my question is, how
Right.
did you come up with that brand? And does it mean something to you?
It does. When I started, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in terms of branding. I'm a big fan of Kanye's College Dropout. I'm a big fan of Varsity Jackets and that whole wave and collegiate and things like that. So I was somewhat inspired from Kanye, from the College Dropout. And in the very, very beginning, the premises of the line was it was going to be something along the lines of being successful but being a college dropout. Because I dropped out of college. I dropped out of college after 2 years. I went to drugstore for 2 years. I dropped out and joined the military. But I was trying to put something in play that college isn't the only way. So I came up with a bunch of corny ideas, and none of them made any sense. And a good homie of mine by the name of Del P. Shout out to Del P. He's a rapper from West Philly. We went to high school together, and it was some years back in 2016. I can't remember what the crisis was, but it was unfortunate to say it was a Black Lives Matters campaign, and he wanted me to make a hat for him with Black Lives Matters. And I'm playing around with logos, and I had this logo and being an experience and not knowing how logos really go, I had this logo that had all this intense detail, and in my mind it made sense, but to translate it and put it on paper, it wasn't making sense. And it's 4 a.m. I'm in my living room, I'm on my computer, and I'm playing around with stuff. And I put this peace sign and this heart together, and the light bulb went off, and I'm like, this is it. It was
It's
plain.
so
It was plain. It was basic. I'm really big on logos. I look at what logos mean. I look at how the McDonald's Archer is so important. You know, it's like as a child, kids know the McDonald's Archer before they even ever been to McDonald's. It's just one of those things that's embedded in your mind. Like you see the Archers, you want a burger. You know, like you don't have to wear tennis shoes, but you see the Nike check and you know exactly what it is. You mean, so my thing was I wanted to create something that was so plain, that was so simple, but yet it stands out. And to come up with the peace and love thing is really just a reflection of my kid. You know, I talk about it so much, but it's a reflection of my kid. It's a reflection of my beliefs as a Christian. And we just want to promote positivity and promote love. And I couldn't think of a better way to do it, but to put a peace sign and a heart sign together. And it was so much, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it was so much to the point that before the business took off, I got it tattooed on my wrist. You can see that. I got it tattooed on my wrist only because I knew that if it was there, I never wanted my brand to be an afterthought conversation. I never wanted to be in a position where people say, yo, what happened to that brand you used to do? And I put it on my wrist so that I can see it every day, and it can be something that I pursue every day. So it would never be a has-been conversation piece. You know, I put it on me so every morning I wake up, you know, I have drive and ambition to keep it moving. But it was just a really organic situation. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened the way it did. And at this point, we're really trying to make it a household name. It's catching attention, and I'm extremely grateful, honestly.
I want to double back to something that you all were talking about. I was having a lot of technical difficulties, but I want to double back to the entrepreneurial angle where you were talking. I did some research on you. I saw an interview that you did, and you mentioned, and I want to make sure I say it correctly. You mentioned not cheating yourself by skipping steps, but embrace the journey. And so that's so critical, just because like what you were talking about, it's not about the money, it's not about the bottom line per se, but everything that you go through in developing yourself as an entrepreneur and establishing your brand in line, all of it is essential. So my question to you would be, how did you become comfortable with the process and just embrace it as part of the journey? Because I think that's one of the most frustrating pieces.
I don't think you ever get comfortable. It's not even about being comfortable. Like I said in the interview, it's really about taking a leap of faith. It's really about taking a leap of faith. Like you're never really comfortable. You have an idea and you try to maximize on it. You try to put something in play. And like you said, like I embrace this process. You know, there's no such thing as skipping steps. You know, doctors go to school and they put those years in for a reason. You know, you can take online courses and get the same information that you need to become a doctor. But if you're not doing clinical, you're not going to get the hands-on training that you really need to become a physician. You mean a lot of times, and again, like I said in an interview, a lot of times we want this quick fix and we become entrepreneurs and we put these ideas in play and we just want to hit the ticket. No, you can't hit the ticket. You can't punch the ticket early. Like you have to go through ups and downs. You got to get bumps and bruises. I had to go through the times where I made mistakes on shirts. You know, even I had a conversation today, even in you know, the way times are right now, I have this backup wholesale place that I go to. It's dry. Like I had to go through things to understand, okay, if I can't get shirts from A, I need to go get shirts from B. You mean that's a process, but I know I can get shirts from B and C because it's a process. And I've been in a position where I couldn't get shirts from this place before. So I had to outsource and go other places. But if somebody just gives me, you know, they just punch my ticket and they say, we're going to give you this money and you're going to go in this direction, and a hiccup comes, I'm not going to know how to properly handle that hiccup if I haven't had any background or any experience of going through hiccups and going through this process. You mean, so like you really have, you can't skip a step. I think one to skip steps is so premature. You know, like why not embrace the journey? You know, you have to educate yourself. Being an entrepreneur is learning on the gig. Like I've learned so much stuff on the gig. There's so many things that I couldn't take a course that would teach me. I've learned so many things about customer service. I've learned so many things about just managing my time. You know, these are things that you can tell people what to do, but unless you experience it firsthand, you're not going to get it. Like you have to take each step, and you have to embrace the journey. Like you can't skip steps. Skipping steps is cheating yourself. And if you want to be successful, you can't cheat. Like you can't cheat. There's no cheating involved.
No cheating involved.
No cheating involved.
So, with you talking about this process, what do you think are the next steps for you to get to wherever you want to be within the next, let's say, 5 years?
It's really no steps and there's really no formula, but to just keep going. Just keep going. I feel as though, you know, they say that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, I believe. And in the beginning, I thought I had a process. I thought I had steps in the direction of what I wanted to go, which direction I wanted to go in. That direction has changed so many times because, to be honest with you, the whole water thing is dope. If you would have asked me in December, if you would have said to me in December, I'd be selling water in June and July, I would have laughed. You mean like I would have laughed? I didn't know it was a thing. Like, you know, but you gotta, the goals change. Like you learn on the gig, you learn as you go, and as you learn and as you get more mature and as you know, you just, you put your time in, you find out more ways to put yourself in the mix. You mean? So it's like,
Right.
I don't really think there is a goal. I just think, you know, the recipe is just to keep going. You know, God gives us ideas. He gives us ideas for a reason. And me and Kay, we talked about this. Like, God gives you ideas for a reason. He gives you ideas. You got to take off and run with them. So right now we're just taking off and running with these ideas that God has given us. And by the grace of God, you know, we looking to get these 7 streams of income.
That's excellent.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
I love it.
So
I
I know we're getting. Go ahead, Keena.
I was just gonna say it was one other thing that was so important because it kind of like caught me off guard when I heard you say it. You mentioned change the narrative, and I say that so much in coaching and even, you know, with hashtag swerve and everything like that.
Right.
But in the interview, you mentioned, and I wrote it down. You said that we have to change the narrative. You said as Black men. And then from there, it gave me the thought that how just as a Black community, period, especially in moments like this, that we need to change the narrative that we have about ourselves, about each other. And so I just wanted to know what that looked like for you, or how you came to that particular place about changing the narrative and how that is reflective in, you know, your personal life, professional, and then the community.
The change in the narrative piece really came about for me, I want to say August of last year. I met someone on Facebook by the name of Jay Crabb. She has a nonprofit called Dope, and she feeds the homeless here in Philadelphia. And I saw what she was doing, and whatever she was doing, I'm like, this, I know, all pun intended, but I'm like, this is dope. And I reached out to her and we had a couple conversations, and, you know, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, like, I need that. And first thing she asked me, said, what are you doing in the community? And at that moment, I wasn't really doing anything in the community for the brand. You know, growing up in church and things like that, like I've always been involved with the youth and youth group, and I've worked at Vision Quest, and I've worked with, you know, juvenile delinquents and things like that. I've been a mentor. I've been a youth advocate. So, you know, dealing with inner city kids has always been my passion. But she asked me, what are we doing in the community? And we, you know, we bumped our heads and we put some things in play, and we started this campaign called High Fives with Dads. And with the High Fives with Dads, we got a bunch of men of color, and we went to these schools. And on the first day of school in August and September, you know, we just went out to encourage kids and high five kids on the first day of school, just to bring down anxiety, you know, for the first day of school. And for me, that was the beginning of changing the narrative. Like, we went to these inner city schools, we went to schools in Kensington. You know, you guys are from Philly, but to know Kensington, it's like zombie town. Like, to walk through Kensington and to see people strung out on drugs, and to see people staggering up the street because they're high off of meth and stuff like that, that's a norm. You mean, it's unfortunate to say, but that's a norm. So that's what these kids see when they're walking to school every single day. Like, every single day, that's what they see. And they see people who look like us. And being that young, it's so easy to see that and think that that's the norm, and it's not. And we had to change that. And it was our job to go to these schools, and it's men, maybe about 10 of us that were there, who are well groomed, who stand up a certain way, who speak a certain way, who act a certain way, to show these kids like it's more to what we are than what you see walking down Kensington Avenue. You mean, so that's where the change in the narrative piece really came in. It's just showing these kids that it's another way besides the way that you see walking to school every day. Because it's a horrific scene. It's a horrific scene. If you guys ever been to Kensington, if you haven't been to Kensington, I advise you not to go. It's a horrific scene. And it's a horrific scene. And these kids see that daily, and we have to change what they think is normal, because that's not normal. You mean, so it's our job and our duty to show them that this is what normal should look like. Like, this is how we're supposed to be. Like, it's cool to love on people. It's cool to smile. Like, a lot of us as young men, we don't smile at people. Like, we don't speak to people. I was in the military, and what the military taught me was that I speak to everybody now. Before going to the military, I was typical. I was an inner city youth. I was raised in the streets, and I've been in the streets and things like that. And as guys from the inner city, we have this carnal look on our face where we don't look pleasant and we don't speak. But we have to change that. And being in the military helped me change that. I speak to everybody. If you walk in my path, I smile and I speak. Male, female, whatever, it doesn't matter. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. And that's what we have to show these kids. Like, we just have to change their outlook on life. So that's really what changing the narrative piece is really about.
So those kids who have to walk through that and have to see that every day,
right,
on their way to school, and then they get to see somebody that has their own business. They're an entrepreneur. They get to see you.
Right.
Is there a way that, and maybe you are right now, is there a way that you're reaching those kids?
In terms of reaching how I am, I give information. I've had conversations with kids. I'm in the position now where, the COVID kind of held things up a little bit, but prior to the COVID, we had some things in play where I have a few friends who are educators, and we're trying to implement some programs in schools, some entrepreneurship programs in schools, where with the equipment that I have and, through budgeting and things like that, we'll get more equipment. But the goal is to take this equipment to schools and to show kids the basic skills of doing what I do, and bringing other entrepreneurs that I know on board, and starting this program where, we can answer these questions and show these kids and give them hands-on skills, so that, they don't have to necessarily be entrepreneurs. But again, like I said, with my kid, it's about just giving the option. So, we're in a position where we're trying to give these kids the option. Again, the COVID kind of held things up a little bit, but, it's not going to be forever. So once, outside is slightly more normal, and even maybe before it's slightly more normal, if we have to wear masks, we have to wear masks, and we have to teach these kids how to do these basic skills of wearing masks, and so be it. But, we're just waiting for things to open up a little more, but that's definitely a plan that's in play. I'm a firm believer of, when I was talking to Keen, like she asked me some questions. I'm all about giving information. When I started my brand, nobody gave me information. I would ask people things, nobody gave me a lend hand. And it's no knock on nobody, because I can't expect anybody to help me. You can't go into the world expecting things, and I didn't expect anything. However, I wanted it, and I prayed, and I'm like, God, if you give me this, whatever you give me, if I can give it away for free, I'm gonna give it away for free. Some things you got to charge for, don't get me wrong, but if anybody calls me, inboxes me, texts me, email me, like, yo, how can I start a clothing line? I get excited. Like, I get excited, because I'm like, bet, this is what you do. Here's the website. This is what you do. I know somebody who does this. I have a man that does logos. Like, I get my shirts from here. You can get this. Go on Amazon. Go on Etsy. Like, you can get these things. So it's like, I'm all about giving this info away for free, because it ain't no competition out here. I don't look at anybody as competition. I look at everybody that I come in contact with. We're allies. Like, we're allies.
Right.
We bump our heads and we put some things in play. We work better as a unit than we do it as individuals.
Right.
So like, I was just at the point. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, into that very point, for everyone who just goes and look into their closet, you see multiple brands of clothes in your closet.
Yo,
and that's
you hit it right on. You hit that right on the head. You hit that right on the head. And I tell people, that's why I don't have a problem reposting other people's brands, I don't have a problem reposting what anybody else does because, like you said, growing up, you know, in terms of clothes, we wore different brands. If I look in my closet, well, not now because when I started my line, I actually gave all of my name brand clothes to Goodwill. So I would be in a position that I would never stop. So like I don't own designer clothes anymore. I just wear all my stuff daily. But when I was wearing designer clothes,
no. You do own designer clothes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Your designer clothes.
I like that. I like that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
you've got a
appreciate that.
closet full of designer clothes.
Designer clothes. You're right. You're right. You're right. But it's like, but I appreciate that. But it's like, you know, we all wear different things. So it's like, it's room for everybody to eat. You know, I think about in my high school days, like polo was a thing, Tommy Hilfiger was a thing, Eddie Bauer was a thing, Nautica was a thing. Like, you don't wear the same brand every single day. So with that being said, if all three of you guys have a line and we do something different, even if we provide the same thing, you might not want to wear a hooligan shirt every day. You mean you might want to wear a Swerve shirt, and that's cool. Like, it's nothing wrong with. That was a plug. That was a plug. That was a plug. That was a plug. There's nothing wrong with somebody that supports me wearing a Swerve shirt. There's nothing wrong with that. You mean there's nothing wrong with somebody who supports Swerve wearing a Peace and Love shirt? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You mean, so with that being said, like, I give this information. I'm sharing people's stuff. Like, I don't know. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to eat. Like, it's enough. Paid in Full is one of my favorite movies. Like, everybody's gonna eat B. Like, that's a favorite line. That's a famous line from that movie. Everybody's gonna eat B. Like, it's enough room on here for everybody.
Well,
I'm about to go watch that now.
Before we're done tonight, speaking of brands, I want to bring it back to your brand.
Right.
I want to bring it back to, let's talk about what you've got on your website, what people are going to be shopping for. I was looking through it. I'm glad you clicked on that shirt. I'm glad you clicked on that shirt. Is that your favorite one?
That is my favorite shirt. But the funny thing about that shirt has a cool story behind it. When the pandemic hit, you know, but I feel as though my purpose solely on social media is to uplift and to love and to influence. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, the clothes is cool, but I feel as though God is putting a certain energy in me where I need to be positive for people who can't be positive in certain times. And when the pandemic hit, I put a halt on all my clothing sales. I wasn't promoting shirts. I wasn't selling things. You know, I had mugs. I may like post my mug with some tea in it, just, you know, as a friendly reminder, like we're still around. But I feel as though at that moment, buying clothes or making money wasn't important. The important thing was I was looking at my timeline and I'm watching how, you know, the world was changing and how it was affecting some people. Like, some of us were okay with it. Some of us, you know, handled a certain way. But the unfortunate part, some of us were in a frenzy. And I didn't want to put clothing out there. I didn't want people to spend money because they were nervous. I didn't want people to spend money because they felt they didn't have anything to do. Like, me making money wasn't important. The important thing was loving on people, letting people know that God exists. The important thing was letting people know that this is a season, like this isn't going to be forever. And some time went by and I wasn't selling clothes, maybe about 3 weeks, almost to a month. And I saw someone post something online and it was an airbrush picture of somebody spray painted on the wall. And it was a heart with the A on it. And it said, "Fall in love, not in line." And I saw that and I was like, yo, that's a super dope like tag. You know, I've always been a fan of graffiti. And I'm like, that's a super dope tag. And I'm talking to my good friend and my advisor, and I send this message. And I'm like, yo, what you think about this shirt? And I'm like, I was really reluctant about posting it. And she's like, yo, post it. Like, it's a good shirt. Like, just post it. And it wasn't even posting it with hopes of selling it. It was in hopes of, you know, this world's going to open up again at some point. I need to put some sort of product in to put it in play for the future. And I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't even hoodie season. And I posted hoodies. I'm still selling hoodies of that shirt to this day. Like, still selling hoodies of that shirt to this day.
I think it's always hoodie season. Honestly.
It's always hoodie season. All you got to do is roll the sleeves up. And if you're in the car, you got air conditioning, there's always hoodie season. Always.
I think it's always now. And two, so I was looking at I was strolling through your Facebook page.
Right.
I didn't want to talk out of turn because I don't know if you still have it going, but there was like a sale you had.
What was the sale?
On your Facebook page, it said like a 20% sale that you've got
Right.
or something like that.
It's not going on, but since you brought it up, if you're interested, I'll honor that. I'll send you your own personal call. How about this? Only because you brought that up.
Show.
Only because you brought that up. When we get off, I'll put another 20% upsell. And you tell me, listen, you tell me what the code needs to be, and we'll make that the code, and we can have a 20% sell.
Slanted brow.
Slanted brow.
Slanted brow. I can do that. I can literally do that right now on my phone. Like, I can do that right now. I can do that right now. So by time this is over, we'll have a slanted brow coupon code, and it'll be 20% off for everything on the website. That
is awesome.
Now I'm gonna have to get a shirt because you got our promo. I'm gonna have to get it.
That's too easy. That's too easy. That's too easy.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
Gotta support.
That's too easy. I appreciate that. That's too easy.
I got a lot on the way. I'm telling you, I'm all about it. And I love how you said, I'm a firm believer in that too. Like I got on my brother's shirt tonight. It says booked and booked. I usually wear a hashtag shirt, swerve shirt, excuse me. But I'm like, I don't want to keep showing up in that same shirt. Everybody think I'm wearing the same V-neck. I'm not. But
wear that joint every day.
I wore my brother's
every day. You gotta make it a household name. Wear that joint every single day, like until they get tired of seeing it. Wear it every single day.
That's what Johnny of Good Company told me. He was like, "Wear your stuff every day.
Every single day." Look, you know it's not the same V-neck. Wear that joint every single day.
You guys actually made me change my shirt before we started the show.
Because we all got on black shirts now.
No, I was the only one wearing a white shirt. I never wear white. I never wear white. And then I thought, when I came home from work, take a shower, and I thought, today I'm going to wear a white shirt. I'm going to wear a white shirt today. And I sit down and everybody's wearing black shirt. I'm like, dang it.
Put on a black shirt.
So I'm like, all right, just a minute.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
I don't want to be the other way out. I'll go wear my black shirt.
Yeah, but to that point though, I'm like, you don't always have to, wear yours. I am doing that more and more. Literally, I had my stuff on when I went to go pick up my water today, and this guy was like, "I love that shirt," and I'm like, "Really? That's my brand. Let's talk." And he was like, "Give me your number." So I'm like, "Cool." So get my number for the shirt, but
wear them shirts every single day, every day. It's your shirt.
I do, but also like I'm like, if I'm in the mood to wear something different, I'm always going to wear what I believe in. And so like I got on Book Plus, I got my, I got my stuff that I ordered from you. And I think that is, I'm big on saying this is how we win. So I push people as well, because I feel like literally, honestly, everybody needed that help or that push at some time in some way. And I'm saying this to say this is that how you were willing and open, like with no hesitation to help me, and that's just how it is across the board. That's why I'm fully persuaded, like you're going to be blessed no matter what you do. And that's why I told you, I told you privately, and I'll say it publicly, from what I see and what I've experienced with your personality and your spirit and just the mission and everything, I'm a supporter, not a fan. So anything you're doing, I'm going to push it. I'm going to stand behind it. And I'm very glad that we were able to get you on here. I had a whole bunch of technical difficulties, but people got to hear. I'm so glad that, our neck of the woods got to hear about, who you are and what you do. I know you're going to do.
I appreciate y'all having me. This is dope.
Yeah. So
You
then I want to ask you this question.
What's up?
So what do you think about this shirt idea right here?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Whose shirt is that?
We were on the live.
Now, okay. So there's a story behind the shirt. All right.
Oh,
so
I can't take y'all know.
Is that a Confederate flag on the shirt?
I'm gonna explain that.
Is that a Confederate flag on the shirt?
It might be. It might be. So last week, I was getting really tired of all this stuff on Facebook, with that Southern Crossing. This is our Confederate.
Shirt is crazy,
right? And I decided to do a little bit of a history lesson to say, you know what? They always say, "Oh, know your history." Well, we do. So I'm going to give you a history about your own flag. So the last flag that the Confederate had was this one.
Right.
Which, if you look at it like this,
to the side.
Then you
right.
can
I
see
can't
the
take
flag.
no
So it's still got that little emblem in the corner, the white, but then they put that red stripe. So, and we posted that up there so people can see what it is that I'm talking about.
Right.
And here I am talking about this. Meanwhile, the whole time, Bernard's figuring out how to make a font that matches that. If he could make that look like an L. And this, sir, is his product.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I can't
want
take
to sell this.
No, I can't.
I know you can't take Bernard and I anywhere.
No.
You really
I want to
can't.
sell bumper stickers.
You just can't.
I need to
Oh
make this
yeah.
a thing.
Oh, hats, ball
It's
caps.
interesting. We'll say that it's interesting.
Isn't it?
What?
Isn't
Who
it?
is gonna? First of all, I'm gonna tell you.
I'd buy
this.
one. I'd buy one.
If you do that, people are gonna call you all the new Karens, just going and starting stuff for no reason.
Definitely the new Karen.
Y'all the new Karens, just Karens 2.0, just starting stuff for no
Karen's
reason.
2.0.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you.
It's definitely interesting.
Well,
Oh
the
my
big
Support my
question.
shirt.
Yes. Would you support our shirt? Our new
You don't
shirt?
have-
No.
You
You
don't
don't
have
have
to.
to answer
No,
that.
you have to answer that question.
No, you don't have to answer that at all. We're not going to put you on the spot. So
He's about
Nope.
peace and love.
the big
Okay.
question
Peace and
was,
love. We promoted peace and love. Like
do we put
we
the emblem
promoted
on the
peace and love.
front,
That's it.
or do we put the emblem on the back?
Say it again.
Do we put the emblem on the front or the back? You see, my thing is, I want to go to the county fair, or I want to go to Kings Island or something. I want to walk around with my Slurpee and give people that Midwest nod. Just
You know what?
and then just
See?
kind of turn around.
Turn around. Wow. It's definitely gonna be a conversation starter. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a conversation you want to start, but it's definitely gonna be a conversation.
They're not gonna talk. Not in this climate. They're not gonna say anything. People gonna throw them things. People tired.
It's gonna be a conversation starter. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I'm sorry, that logo will not stop being funny for me.
No, I
Show it.
Yo, that's hilarious.
It won't
That's
stop
hilarious.
being funny.
That's every sense of hilarious to me.
no.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for validating that idea. So with that,
he did not.
with that being said, did you have anything that you want to leave with us, that you want to share with the world in closing?
Yeah, you don't want to make it what we just did.
Right.
No, definitely not.
Honestly, yo, in all seriousness, I think that the times that we're in right now, I think that this is the prime opportunity to take a seat and to reflect, to reevaluate ourselves from within. It's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and with this pandemic and things like this, like I feel as though none of us should leave out of this situation the way that we came in, regardless of what it is. It's not even about, entrepreneurship is cool, but it's so much more in life than just making money. I think that for a lot of us, it's, our mindsets should be completely changed once this is over. I think the way that we view people, the way that we view ourselves, the way that we handle finances, the way that we spend time with family, just the way that we are as a whole as people. I think this is a prime opportunity to really take time and sit back and reflect for all of us to come out of this situation better. I think that new goals should be set. And, we got a lot of downtime on our hands. Like we have a lot of downtime on our hands. We have a lot of resources that are at our fingertips. And I really, really think that we just need to use this time to be as productive as we possibly can be. I put on my stat ever so often that being positive is a frame of mind and being productive takes action. As of right now, we're in a space that we can take so much action and just trying to be productive and better our lives and better others' lives around us. But we just got to take this time for what it is, yo. Like, this is the time for healing. God has slowed the world down for us so we can appreciate the things that we do have and really not worry about the things that we don't. It was a lot of things that we weren't able to get because of this pandemic. We couldn't eat, we couldn't go out to eat when we wanted to. We couldn't go get a drink when we wanted to. We couldn't go to the mall when we wanted to. And I can speak for me personally. It showed me how unimportant those things are. it showed me what the important thing is. And the important thing is family. The important thing is friends. The important thing is encouraging one another and being here for one another. So, you know, the gems that I would just like to leave with everybody is like, just really take this time for what it is. I know it's a hard time for the world, but to be honest, you know, it's really unfortunate for the people who have lost loved ones. And that's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. But for the ones of us who haven't, you know, we need to take this as a time of self-reflection, you mean, and come out of this being better people. And I think if we all come out of this being better people and viewing the world differently, like, you know, they talk about the Making America Great Again thing, and that's kind of strange to me because I don't know if it's ever been great, but this is the prime time that we can make it better than what it's ever been. You mean, so if I can leave anything, I definitely want to leave that.
That's great.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
you.
It was a good time.
For being
it was
here.
A good time. It was a good time.
So now he gets to experience our after show credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
Oh, it's exciting. It really is. It's like,
really is.
It's like we're here and then all of a sudden we're not.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
It is.
So
weird.
to all the viewers, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we'll be back next week,
Yes,
same
we will.
time, on the Slanted Brow Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Thank you guys.
And I'm gonna put the code. I'm gonna put the code up on the website. 20% off Slanted Brow. It should be up in a few minutes.
You heard him.
And you guys,
Check it
y'all
out.
can post the website, post the code. So hopefully you guys out, you know, your friends out in Ohio, they can grab some stuff. And we ship in 7 business days, so they have it sooner than later.
Nice.
All right. That is awesome.
Cool beans.
Chris don't mind asking for his discount. You that person that go in the store like, this thread is a little off. Can I get $10?
No, I wouldn't do that. All right. Well,
Yes, you
maybe I
would.
have done that. I don't know.
I know you have.
Yeah.
You that person like
All
one
we
is a
did-
quarter of a higher than the other one. I need 20% off.
The code is up.
No, I once talked a guitar down from 140 to $60.
What? Say word.
Yeah, that was big.
Dang.
Yeah,
Over 50% off.
I know.
Jeez.
I still have it.
You coming to the store with me? I got stuff to buy.
There you go. Oh, I will
Go
find
for
a
it.
I will find a flaw.
Wear a mask.
I will find it, and then we will all